Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. The world of the select really is different. Now, y'all know I always talk about the select and non-select, but it's deeper than people realize. You get some people thinking, oh, it's nothing, and they go through the same problems we do. No, they don't. no, they don't. Because understand something. You do have plenty of men out here who get just total disrespect from women, get played by women, can only get a woman if they trick on the woman, and just no cooperation. Just no cooperation. Even in cases where they can get sex. Because, see, understand something. You do have some non-select men who do get sex, but they're usually not a priority with the woman. Though they usually got to go through a lot, jump through a lot of hoops to get it. And then even when they get it, it's probably that quick pancake sex. And the woman's like, she's sitting there doing her grocery list while the man's going crazy for, the 1 minute he's going to go crazy. But it's totally different when a man is truly select. Women treat that same man differently. See, understand something with women. Understand. The reality is they don't treat all men the same way. They don't treat them the same way. And real quick, just to be clear, because, see, a lot of times you get some guys who are more on that non-select thing. They think all the select guys are nothing but, they'll call them fuck boys or I don't know, thugs or something like that, which you do have some among the group. But let's be clear about something. All select men aren't players. You get a portion who are, definitely, but all aren't. Because you get quite a few men who are in that group. They'll get that like legitimate, attractive woman. For those who are going to use a number, a woman who's legitimately in that 8 to 10 range, who is also cooperative, also has some intelligence and stuff, and is helping them to build a legacy. That's select as well. Let me be clear about that. Being select ain't all about being a player. Indeed, you do actually have some non-select men who are players. But one thing about that, let's be clear on the whole player thing. Let me go off on that tangent real quick. Let me be clear about the player thing. A man being a player don't mean he's always successful. Let's just be clear on that. That just mean that's just how they doing things. They just chasing. They could be the chasing, get something here and there. They still a player. Don't mean they are a successful player. Indeed, the usually successful ones are the ones who are select and also have women actively trying to seduce them. Let's be clear on that. But like I said, all select men aren't players. Those are usually the guys, the men who are select ain't players and get a good woman. That's usually the thing. They'll get a good woman, and they're usually guys who are doing something with their lives, like legitimately doing something with their lives, not complaining. They just got a good family. They do exist. Let me be clear on that. They do exist. Now, could those guys become players if they want it? Yeah, sure, but every man ain't about that lifestyle. But the bottom line is the world is different, because you do have a lot of guys out here who they see every negative thing with women, which, the negative stuff does exist. But like I said, women, they would treat two different men differently. Like a woman would take one man she considers non-select, and she'll tear into him. She'll tear into him if she even interacts with him. She'll be rude, disrespectful, everything. And if she deals with him, it's more for her entertainment. And she will still be disrespectful. She'll spend all his money, give him sex like once a week, if that. And that's more or less to keep him quiet. And then she'll, she knows he's only going to last a couple minutes anyway. So she say, all right, if I can keep this Mercedes payment up and keep the rent paid, yeah, she'll do it. But then that same woman with a select man, she doing whatever. She's like, yes, daddy. She's cooking for him. She's following, walking behind him, everything. She's treating him differently. And it's a different vibe. It's a different vibe. Now, see, the thing is, you get a lot of guys on that non-select side. They feel like, well, all men are going through it. Let me tell you something else. A big thing that's not really talked about. It's rare that the worlds of the select and non-select interact. Usually, if you get it, it's usually a situation where two men on, one man who's non-select, one who's select, maybe grew up in the same neighborhood. Or maybe in the same family, though I'm going to be real, that's a little bit harder. And I'm going to tell you why. It's probably another podcast, but usually when you get one select male in a family, usually the rest are too. There's deeper aspects to that select, non-select thing I don't get into as much publicly. And, it's deep. It's a little bit deeper. But the whole thing is these worlds don't really interact. Because think about something. If a person people tend to want to be around like-minded people. They're going to click with them better. Now, you get one dude, he getting all this problems with women, getting rejected, being the victim of being played, all of this stuff. The type of men he's going to be around are similar men. Because, when you get that conversation, start talking, the vibration, everything, it's going to be around similar men. And then, it is what it is. And that's just not just with the relationship thing. That's in life. That's just in life, period. People tend to be around like-minded people, at least for, their friendships and stuff. Only time you might get... another instance where you might get a mix is maybe on a job, and I'm still saying maybe. Reason why, because, let me just go off on a tangent real quick. Usually when you're hired for a job, you're not hired necessarily for your skills. You're hired because you fit into the environment. So even there, it can be hard for the two to mix. So that's one. But then when you get the select guy, okay, instead of complaining about women, the one complaint he might have is man, all these women getting on my nerves. I'm just trying to chill, eat my buffalo wings, and they up here bothering me and stuff. That's the biggest complaint. But usually, even when these guys break up, let's just be real, these guys do break up from a woman. Usually, it's something the guy did. And when I say that something the guy did, usually the select guy dismisses the woman like the maid. Even when she thinks she breaking up from him, he'd probably be like, oh, well. Because a slick game that some guys will use is they'll do some stuff so the woman will break up thinking she has some control over it. But, so he's like, hey, whatever, He just go to the next one. So he's looking at it differently. And like I said, they can get some drama here and there, but usually they know how to control it. So it's a different vibe. It's a different thing. And I'm going to tell you what, there was a time in my life I thought the worlds were closer, but they not. It's a big chasm. It's a big chasm because one of the things, you got a lot, it's a mindset thing, how a man thinking. And, it's the same thing I was saying about non-select men being around each other. Select men are going to vibe. They're going to click with other select men. So that's who they're going to be around. So that's why, the worlds don't cross. Indeed. That's why, even on this channel, I realize just the way I'm coming at it, a lot of guys don't get it. And indeed, a lot of guys have tried to get me to say, well, why don't you say something about this? It's like, no, that's not me. I didn't have the same experience. I talk about what I know. So women have, let's just say I'm used to cooperation from women. I have to think hard when I didn't get cooperation. I have to think extremely hard. And I mean, just doing my thing. I don't even have a strong concept of chasing women down. Because I'm like, hey, I just want to eat my buffalo wings. So it's really it's a different world. It really is different. And just understand that now. It's not a good or bad thing. It just is. Because let me go deep. Let me throw a deep thought channel thought in there. Right. There like several worlds, and the world is just your environment, the people you hang around, and everything. So millions on the planet. So just understand that. So it just is what it is. So anyway, that's all I have for today. I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.